Welcome to Life Mastery for Women, where I help you decode the struggles in your life in the areas of health, wealth, relationships, and spirituality with mind mastery, emotional management, and meditation. Welcome to today's podcast. Hey ladies, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to today's episode where I hope I am finding you prepping yourself for the holidays. If you are not prepping yourself for the holidays, then it is my intention to give you just one nugget of inspiration towards your transformation. Now, what do I mean by prepping yourself? Well, we're all getting ready for the holidays, Thanksgiving, everything in between, Christmas, all New Year's, all these different holiday celebrations, which bring about this festive attitude and mood, food consumption, cookie baking, festivities, going and traveling, doing all these things, getting together with family and friends that maybe you haven't seen in a long time, buying gifts, but it also comes with stress. Now, it comes with stress of spending way too much money on gifts. It comes with stress of traveling, maybe in bad weather, but it also comes with stress of visiting and hanging out with family that maybe you haven't seen in a while and you really don't want to see them, or you do, and it just doesn't always go well. I can tell you that I have not acquired and experienced a bunch of crazy drama, but there have been some stories, not big over the top like I have heard from friends of mine or clients of mine that just have holy moly drama, but I do have some drama, but mine is mostly tension, that it creates this tension. Not that we don't like each other, but it's mostly around the topic of conversation. And I love the holidays. I love them. But it doesn't always go well. And I want this year and the years to follow to go really well. I want there to be connection and deeper relationships and joy and friendship and laughter. How do I create that? Now, in the last podcast where I was talking about prepping for the holidays, and this is a different way. This is prepping yourself for the holidays. That one is, it's also prepping you, but it's creating the energy container that you want to experience. But now let's say you are going somewhere else. You're going to someone else's house for the holidays. How do you maintain your own energy? We've talked about in the past of like cord cutting and, sharing and not blocking, but creating an energy container that's within your aura, that's within your energy, your body, your physical body, that maintains a certain state of being when you are with other people. So when you're with those people, you can maintain your high vibe state. Because we love that. We love to feel good. I want to have those connections. I want to walk in and have people like, oh my God, Jen, so good to see you, rather than, oh, well, this weather is so terrible. And oh my God, wait till you try the food. I don't want that. But that's kind of what my family brings. They're very negatively focused. And even if I try to change the topic, we always kind of bounce back around because we're just not in alignment at that frequency where I want to talk about high vibe states up here and I want to talk about exciting things up here, and they just want to talk about the crap, the dirt, the stuck, the, whatever politics crap is going on. Not always politics, but just crap, negative, pessimism, right? So how do I maintain my energy state and frequency? So a little while ago, this was in September, and I celebrated my 50th birthday. And we went to a house that my grandma and grandpa owned, and they lived there for a very, very long time. And I spent some summertime. I didn't spend summers there, but we would go there and visit during the summer. And my dad was very good at getting my brother out and doing adventurous things. The list is really long. We go to the beach, we're going to the dune climb, we're going on hikes, we're going fishing, we're taking the boat out, we're going water skiing, we're catching fish and building things, and we're riding dirt bikes and climbing trees and playing soccer. The list is really endless. And my dad was absolutely 100% amazing at it. And so when we went to my grandma and grandpa's, it was very, very, very small town, Pentwater, Michigan. I think there's about 200 residents that live there year round, but it's right on Lake Michigan. And lots of fun stuff to do. And my grandma's house was so perfect, and it was big, and it was lots of outdoor space. And my grandpa had all these crazy things that we could engage with, whether tools or dirt bikes or bikes or skateboards and stuff like that just really kept us entertained. Anyway, when I was going there to celebrate, quote, my surprise birthday party, Amy invited my brother and his wife and my dad. And I love my dad. My dad is probably, other than Amy, is probably my next best connected person that I just have great conversations with. We really know each other well. And I look forward to our visits because I continue to deepen my relationship with him. My brother and I got along. We're not very far apart in our age. He's only 16 months older than me, and we were really close and then fighting. He has a high power need. I have a high power need. I want to be in charge. He wants to be in charge. Always led to some arguments and fights and stuff like that. But for the most part, we really loved each other when we were younger. Well, when he turned 13, he moved in with my dad. And that really drove a wedge between us because now all of a sudden somebody that I lived with, who was my best friend, who I really could turn to and talk with, is now gone. And I will see him, at spring break for a weekend. That was really devastating to me as a young girl. And it was a very devastating time for me because I'm going now into 7th grade, and which is it's a different building. I didn't switch schools, but same school, but a different building. It's now the public school. And it was very, very scary for me. But anyway, so he's gone. Anyway, so it kind of drove this wedge between us a little bit. I had built some resentment about him leaving. We didn't really connect. Of course, there's no email and Facebook and whatever. I mean, he lived with my dad, a couple of phone calls, but really not much, right? And so it was really, really difficult. So anyway, so I was able to later in life as an adult, really release that resentment that I had built over time from that incident that happened, or that change that happened. And I had gone and done some of my own energy work and tried to deepen my relationship with my brother. But my brother is very focused negatively. He's doing better in his life right now. But as raising kids, it was really challenging for him. He was a very young father. He was on and off drugs. He was in and out of jail. He had partners. There was lots of, relationship drama going on that was just really leading to a negative lifestyle and very high stress. And we couldn't help him. There was nothing that we could do that could change his mind to offer support. And he became very negatively focused. Well, the holidays with him can be very tense because he's a very dominating presence. And we all are, but because I'm the youngest, I'm the one who is the quietest, believe it or not, when we are with the family. So me, my brother, and my mom, because my parents are divorced. So me, my brother, my mom, and my mom is remarried. But my stepdad is very, very quiet, very, very quiet, very introverted, very quiet. And so, but when the three of us get together, we all have very dominating personalities. And as my mom is an adult and my brother is now an adult, my mom has now moved into this kind of subdued, passive position, which is not what she was like when we were younger. And my brother is in this very dominating position. So we get together, if he starts spiraling into some negative conversation, then literally the whole world stops. This whole Christmas celebration stops. My brother is ranting and raving about something, God knows what. And it becomes very tense because of the type of conversation and the lack of support that we can offer him. Okay, I'm not saying that there's not time for negative conversation to be like, oh my God, I can't believe what my son just did, or the politics, or whatever he's going on about, his job, or whatever. But it's the part that we can't get him to change direction or even include other people in the conversation. We just literally sit there with our mouth on the floor, saying and doing nothing while he goes on and on and on and on and on about whatever it is he's going. So he's spiraling in this negative way. It creates a lot of tension. All the joy is sucked out of the room. The festivities come to a halt. We're now basically watching this guy on stage completely piss and moan about his life or an area in his life. And I'm sure you've all had some experience like this before. Well, if we want to change that, if we want to have joy in our life and we want it to be different, we want our experience to be more joyful, what can I do if this is the scenario that I'm going to be thrown into? I'm going to go and have Christmas. I'm bringing Amy and our kids, and my brother's going to be there with his wife and my mom and my stepdad. So all of us are going to be there. Well, what happens if Scott gets in this rant and rave and basically stands on stage and, the boys are there listening to this and he's an F word. I mean, you use the word like, or you use the word he uses the F word as like one of those words. And it can be a little bit unpleasant with your kids around, hearing somebody get into this state, right? And so I think, okay, I want to create this joyful state and I want to have our Christmas be amazing. I want the Hallmark Christmas. I want to walk in with cookies and have everybody go, oh, it's so good to see you. And what did you bring? Oh, I love your chocolate chip cookies, which there wouldn't be mine. Those would be Amy's because she makes amazing chocolate. Like, I'm not kidding. Amazing chocolate chip cookie bars. And we call them Brookies because they're like, she makes them in a cake pan and then cuts them like brownies, but they're chocolate chip cookies. Anyway, oh God, they're so amazing. I'm not kidding. So amazing. If you had one, you would be agreeing with me. And if I ever have a women's retreat or a live event, she will bring them and you guys will be able to have them. And then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. That was your little Christmas cookie or your chocolate chip cookie commercial. So anyway, so now I want to create this joyful state. Oh, so for my birthday. So Amy tells me about this quote, surprise birthday party. And I'm like, and she's like, but I'm a little bit concerned about your brother being there and the thing and the that and him basically stealing the stage. And I said, here's the thing. We're going to set the intention. There's my energy. We're going to set the intention that it's going to be fun. That was my word. I wanted my 50th birthday celebration to be fun. And if it's not fun, then I'm not going. But my brother is already going because she's invited him. And then he lives 20 minutes from the house. And so I'm like, okay, so this is what we're going to do. And I want it to be fun. And as I'm setting the intention, I am throwing the energy out in front of me rather than, oh God, Amy, really? You probably shouldn't have invited my brother. He can be such a thing and a this and he's negative. Oh crap. Now what are we going to do? No, she goes, because she was in tears because she's like, I don't know what to do. Like, I wanted this to be a big celebration with you and your family. And, this is such a great place, a great memory for you and your brother, because this is where you guys spent so many, times and weekends, whatever, that I want him to be there. You're 50 and he wants to be there and whatever. But, oh man, now I feel terrible. I don't know. I'm like, listen, it's going to be okay. I took a different state with my energy right there. You know what, Amy? It's going to be okay because we're going to practice our state of being. We're going to practice our state of energy. And it's going to be something like, nope, it's going to be fun. And if my brother doesn't want to have fun, then that's his problem. But this is my birthday celebration. And I always have fun with Amy. And her mom came. So basically my mother-in-law came. And she's fun to be around. And I love my dad and he's fun. But my brother and his wife sometimes can be kind of lumps on a log. So I'm thinking, okay, well, we're going to have fun anyway. Here's what we're going to do. And we started planning some of the things that we're going to do that are going to create fun. So again, just like my last podcast, is what are some of the things that we can, who do I have to be? Well, I have to set the stage. I'm going to be fun. My energy is going to be fun. I'm going to continue to keep my container, right? Then the next is, what do I have to have in place? Well, let's plan some of the things, because what I don't want to do is get there and sit around and wait for someone else to start a plan where we're going to wait for someone to be like, oh, hey, let's go ride bikes, or oh, hey, we'll go down to the beach. So what are some of the things that we have to have in place? Here's what we did. Let's make a plan. We're going to go to the beach. We're going to go for a bike ride. We're going to, wander around the house because there's always so many memories. We're going to have a bonfire. We're going to make s'mores. We're going to have a birthday cake and a birthday celebration. Then we're going to go on a hike. We're going to have ice cream. We're going to go shopping. We're going to et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We were able to raise the vibration. Here's what ended up happening. We get there, and remember, it's supposed to be a surprise. So my brother, my sister-in-law, and my dad have no idea that I knew ahead of time. So I faked the whole thing. And I told Amy, just the other day, just yesterday, I think, we were talking about holidays, is I said, listen, if I, for some reason, did not know about that surprise party, it would not have gone the same way. I guarantee you that would have happened, that I would have sunk to the low level of the energy that my brother and sister-in-law were emanating. The whole weekend probably would not have been as wonderful and amazing and joyous and fun if I didn't know about it, because I wouldn't have known to be able to prepare my energy. Okay. So we get there and I go through the whole surprise thing and, oh my God, what are you guys doing here? And holy crap, we were just going to stop by the house, because the whole thing was we were going to Grand Rapids to an Airbnb, the three of us. So this is her and her mom. and going to an Airbnb, and oh my God, it's going to be so amazing. We're going to stop at the Pentwater house basically on our way, which it sort of is on our way. And I just love the Pentwater. We're going to go get ice cream and hang out, whatever. Well, anyway, we pull in the driveway and they happen to be there. But I'm thinking, this is a surprise. I'm thinking that we're going to stop there and just kind of visit and hang out and do a few Pentwater things. And then we're going to continue on to Grand Rapids to the Airbnb. But then what happens is we pull in and we see my brother, my sister-in-law, and my dad sitting there. I'm like, oh my God, what are you guys doing here? You know, and oh my God, blah, blah, blah. We can hang out and whatever. And Amy's like, surprise, we're staying here for the weekend. Well, that was the whole surprise. The thing is that I knew about it. But here's what we did. We came up with basically our backup plan, but it's not a backup plan. It was what are we going to do to keep our energy high plan? What do I have to do? And that was the work. And Amy and Deb, which is her mom, are so amazing at maintaining their energy anyway. I mean, they didn't grow up with these people. This is not what they're used to. But it was an amazing turn of events, because when we would come back, let's say, and my brother and sister-in-law were there and they were kind of in their poo-poo moods, that I'm just like, okay, we're going to the beach. Do you guys want to go with us? And they're like, and I'm like, okay. And we literally would get in the car and go. So we just kept the momentum going through the whole entire weekend. So it was all day Friday, all day Saturday, and part of like the early morning and afternoon of Sunday. It was amazing. So here's what I want to teach you as we go forward into the holidays, that if you are going to be hanging out with people that maybe bring a little bit of drama, is that you contain your energy. You figure out how you want to feel. And then when I go there, it's all about bringing the things that help you to feel energized. So let's say you end up getting in a conversation with somebody and you're like, ugh, I hate having conversation with this person. Here's what's going to happen if I do. I'm just going to interrupt them, because my energy container is so important to me. The way I feel is more important to me than catering to somebody's negative mood. The energy container, my physical feeling, is more important to me than catering to somebody's negative emotion. Now, this is not about, your son comes to you and he's upset because his girlfriend just broke up with him and you're like, whoa, I ain't dealing with your negative crap. Jen says I don't have to and I'm not gonna. I'm not saying that, because if you can help somebody, then you should help somebody. If you can help them to see a different point of view and you can help elevate somebody's thinking and being and bringing up their energy because they're willing to go with you, then I say help them. But if they're not, then my energy is more important. That's what I'm talking about. And my brother is not willing to go up. And I've known that for years, right? I've been on this planet for 50 years. He's been on this planet for 51 years. I know that about him. So what I do now is I interrupt him. What I do with my nephew, who I was talking about in my last podcast, the last episode, what I do with him is I interrupt him. If you're not willing to go up, then I'm going to interrupt, because I am maintaining my numbers. Sometimes I walk away. Sometimes I interrupt and I say, I have to get off the phone. Now, this might sound harsh to you, but listen, you have a life to live. And these negative people that are in your life that are not willing to move on, to move up, you don't owe them anything. That is part of their journey. But here's another thought, another perspective. What if by you moving on and interrupting the flow of their negative spiral, you are teaching them something, and then they're moving towards a place of being attracted to your energy? Like, wow, normally she used to listen to me endlessly for 4 hours on the phone, and now she just interrupted and got off the phone. I was only on the phone for 25 minutes. I wonder why. Because remember, curiosity is that neutral state of mind. If I can get him to get into a state of curiosity by maintaining my own energy, well, shit, maybe I could get him to move up next time. Maybe I could even get him to go, how do you maintain such a happy disposition when you're in this, when the president is doing whatever he's doing? And I'm like, because it doesn't directly affect me on a day-to-day basis. I still have a life to live regardless of who's in presidency. I still have a life to live regardless of what is going on in other countries. And it doesn't do me any good to drop down into that negativity. I can't create from there. I can't solve problems from there. I can't help the world from there. I can only attract more negative crap from there. It doesn't help me if the world is at a 2 for me to come down to a 2. I'm going to stand up, and I'm going to stand up nice and tall, and I'm going to shine my light. Because my light is going to help people come out of their 2. Do you get what I'm saying? If you are listening to this podcast all the way through, you have a light to shine. You can't unlearn this information that I'm telling you. This is transformational information. This is transformational stuff. When we start working at this energy level and I get to stand up and shine my light, we're talking about being lighthouses for those who are lost. We are talking about being a lighthouse for those who are lost, instead of running out there's a whole slew of people lost in their boats out in the ocean, and instead of me being a lighthouse so they can find the land and get off the ocean, I get in my boat and go join them. That's what you're doing. That was a good one, wasn't it? That was a good analogy, wasn't it? I can get really intense with this because it is so important for us to maintain our energy, not only to get in the flow of our lives and to take care of our lives and to have a healthy state of being and create the life that we want. Now it's about creating the life that the world can live. But that means I have to maintain my energy. I have to do something that brings my numbers up and keeps them up. That's where I get to heal others. That's when I get to shine and help others find their way out, not from coming down to where they are. I stand up at the peak and I hold my hand out to help them come up to where I am, rather than walking down to base camp and going, the view down here does suck. I guess you should have come up there where I was. Well, let's go. Well, now I'm too tired. I'm going to stay down here. Now I'm kind of drained, right? Where I say, I'm going to stay up here and call you from down at base camp and say, come up here. The view is amazing. So this is about you maintaining your numbers, but you're putting words to those numbers. If I'm a 2, what am I actually feeling? Drama. If I'm a 9, what am I feeling? Amazing. How do I want my holidays to go? I want them to be fun. Okay, let's maintain fun. I told you about the summer, where we had our summer picnic and it was 92 degrees and my mom does not do heat. And the whole time we're talking about this, I'm telling her, I'm like, Mom, the whole entire summer has been like 90 some degrees. So what are you going to do if it's 90 some degrees? And she's like, oh, I'll be fine, which is never the case. That's never been in my entire life where my mom has ever been okay with the temperatures being that hot, ever. Through the winter, she wears shorts, you guys, in northern Michigan. So it's really hot. She gets there. I'm not kidding. We get there. She's not talking to anybody. There's all this tension around her. Nobody's talking. It's created this stupid tension like always. And the whole time I'm thinking, and I set the intention, we're going to have fun. 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 Set it. I send it out to the park that we went to that we got this pavilion and all these people were coming and all this food and all was going to be so much fun, whatever. And there's a river that runs all the way around this park. And I said, it doesn't matter what happens. We are going to have fun. Well, I'm not kidding. Half an hour later, my mom gets in the car and goes home. And my brother comes up and we had just kind of wandered off. We all ate. We kind of wandered off to the river. So it's me and Amy and Deb, it's her mom, and the 2 boys. And we wandered off to the river. And my brother comes down. He goes, Mom just left. And I said, why? Because it's too hot. And I said, are you kidding? And he's like, no. He goes, so we're going to leave too. We all drove like 2 hours for this picnic. My mom lives in the same town, so she literally was 2 minutes away. So she drives home. My stepdad is still there and he's completely tense. Like he has no idea what's going on. My brother's all kinds of pissed off. And I said, why are you leaving? He goes, well, because Mom left. And I'm like, but we're here. Like, let's have the picnic. We have stuff. We have activities, the river. You brought your suit. Let's play. Like, why are you leaving? Anyway, so he left. We stayed for, 3 or 4 more hours, played in the river. And we had fun, even though something happened. Even though it was hot and my mom left. And my stepdad comes up to us and he's just like, your mom went home and she wants you to come to the house. I said, listen, we're not coming to the house. The house is small. The boys kind of get antsy. There's nothing for them to do at the house. This is why we have the picnic. So we're going to stay here. And what we'll do is on the way out of town, I'll drive to the house and we can all basically say goodbye from the car. We're not going to spend the day in the house. That was not the plan, right? So we didn't. But when I look back at that picnic, yes, there was that drama. But when I think about my emotional state and the emotion that I helped my family to maintain, we had fun. We didn't get in the car and leave. My brother and my sister-in-law left. My mom went home. My stepdad went home. My niece and all of her kids didn't even show up. But we stayed and we had fun. And that's the part that I'm trying to maintain. That is what I'm trying to teach you. Because when I'm talking to my mom, now things are going to change. So when I'm talking to my mom and I'm like, okay, listen, we cannot have our family picnic in July or August or whatever. I think it was in August. We can't do that. It's not going to work. It's too hot. So we need to change things. I'm now taking the lead on the family picnic. So I'm being the lighthouse where I'm saying I'm going to lead this family to a different level of happiness. Now, they still may decide not to go. For some other reason, my mom might get upset and she might drive home again. For some other reason, my niece may not show up. For some other reason, my brother might leave. But that's their choice. I am not in control of their life. But what I can do is I can continue to shine the light. A lighthouse does not save the boats. It just shines the light so the boats can see them. It doesn't save the boats. It just shines. That's what I'm asking you to do with this energy work, is to just go out there and continue to shine. Continue to shine your light. And we do that by working on and maintaining our own energy. So as you go through, what energy do you want to feel? And how can you maintain that energy? How do you put that protection over you when you're now going someplace else other than your own home? And that person that maybe you don't get along with, you don't like that well, or has negative or pessimistic state, or brings a lot of drama or whatever, how can you handle that? What state of being do you want to maintain, and how can you do that? And I'm very curious how you will maintain that. And I would love to hear some of your experience after the holidays, but also some of the things that you will do to maintain that state of being that you want to. So please share it with us in our Chakras for Beginners group or our Lady Rising group. And say, hey, this is a podcast 297, and this is what I'm listening to here. I want to be in the state of joy. I want to be in the state of bliss. And these are the things we're going to do when me and my husband and my family all go to my aunt's. And this is what we're going to do. And here's how we're going to do it. And then you let us know how it goes. I can't wait to hear about it. So I hope the holidays are going to be amazingly joyful for you. And you recognize that you are the light. Knowing this information, you are the light, and going forward and continuing to shine for others. If you liked this episode and you look forward to future episodes and are really looking for a community to help support you with implementing the tools that we're talking about in this podcast, please consider joining our online sister community called Lady Rising on Facebook, where we focus on that spiritual support and connection, just like in today's episode. I hope you'll join us. Go to Facebook, type in Lady Rising, and tell me you came in through the podcast.